How will decentralized finance change the world and the future of work in this space?
Thank you. Finance has been one of the most area that has been greatly affected in terms of how work is done, how payment is made, how business are structured, how deals are done around the world has been affected greatly. And I can give you a very quick example. I mean, when you look at the new Bank of Brazil, that was actually a bank that started off with nothing. Young people, no banking experience, and they started. And today, they are about the largest digital bank in the world. You look at banks like Equity Bank in Kenya, how they started from almost nothing and how they quickly digitalized and became one of the biggest banks in Kenya. And if you begin to bring that home, you will discover that in the last 5 to 6 years, okay, a lot of initiatives regarding financing has come up, even within our own country. Now, so you do not have one size fits all today in terms of what you finance. And I mean, when you finance deals of different types. Today, alhamdulillah, for us as a Muslim living in Nigeria, we've seen the advent of Islamic financing. And that has helped us a great deal. It has given us an halal way to make financing. We've seen more ethical way of making financing. We've also seen quicker way of accessing financing for different type of businesses and even different type of projects, including but not limited to government projects. We've seen 5 phases of Sukuk. We've seen a 4 sovereign Sukuk. We've seen a quasi-sovereign Sukuk. We've seen 6 private Sukuk. And these are multi-billion naira Sukuk. And so financing has changed, and the face of financing around the world is fast changing. People are looking at better way to finance their products, more effective way to finance their products, and there's also been lesser concentration on profit to more concentration on scale. So people are seeing, how can we scale faster? How can we build faster? How can we build to scale? And you see a lot of things are actually coming in. And so it is making access to financing much easier, more transparent, and reporting much more transparent. However, process are also faster. When you look at the conventional financing, you can see that some people even promise to have access to finance within 24 hours, some within 12 hours, some are saying within 60 minutes. And these are what innovation has actually brought to financing that is also changing the landscape, not just geometrically, but in quantum leaps. Thank you.
So I'll look at it from another perspective, just to create some kind of balance to this conversation. So the primary objective of this decentralized financing is to remove the middleman, which is the bank, the intermediator between people that have money and people that needs money. And that is the primary role of the traditional financial institution. So now we're talking about, deployment of technologies to take that role, Simply, the similarity is like when you have Uber, where Uber is just, a technology company that links people that have cars, to people that need the service of the cars, without, creating any barrier, that seamless interface. And that is the role that technology is playing these days. So how does decentralized finance, how does it help you and I? How does it help, the consumers? The first thing is it reduces the transaction cost, right? Because any approach a bank, you see that the interest rates are double digits, and whereas when they want to pay interest on savings accounts is like next to nothing. So decentralized financing is a means to remove this middleman, which is the bank. So when you look at the core concept of Islamic finance, you realize that Islamic finance does not actually encourage the role of middlemen, where somebody would, collect, farm produce from somebody and sell it to the consumers and make, times 10 of the profit that even the farmers are making. And that is, what decentralized financing, is trying to achieve. And a typical example of where this decentralized financing has actually taken place is all these retail outlets, especially in advanced world. You could see that they are now providing finance directly to the consumer. So for example, a Walmart, you don't necessarily need to approach a bank to be able to get money to buy something from Walmart. Even Walmart now sell cars, they now sell, exotic products, and they give you the financing themselves. That's decentralized financing. The use of all these blockchain technology, to enable payments is also a form of decentralized financing, whereby the banks and the traditional financial institutions are from the equation. What that simply means is that it is creating more competition. It is reducing transaction costs. It is also increasing transparency between the owners of finance and the users of finance. Is creating that bridge. And the future, this is actually enabled by digitalization and digital technology, whereby IT can actually play the role that the banks are playing today, whereby IT systems are the one acting, as the link, the bridge between owners of finance and the users of finance. How can this, be seamless? How can this be further enabled? Is through the use of regulations. These regulations that would actually, create that confidence in the consumers to the extent that there will be wider acceptance of all these decentralized financing options that we have. So for example, if there's a regulation that enables, the use of blockchain technology, the use of cryptocurrencies, it will be easier for people to adopt it the more. And, it's just a matter of time it's going to happen. So see what recently happened where CBN also introduced a form of digital currency through the e-Naira. It's also a way of removing the banks from the equation. It's decentralized financing, right? They just need to, put certain structures in place to ensure acceptance by the consumer. So for example, and I want to give a practical example. If the federal government, through the Ministry of Interior Affairs, says, if you want your e-passport to come out within 2 days, if you use e-Naira to make that payment, it will come out in 2 days. What do you think will happen? The uptake would increase. So the regulators, the government, they also have a role to play in ensuring decentralized financing, which is a way of reducing transaction costs and also bridge the gap, between the users of finance as well as the other players in that, that space. So let me just pause here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bashiru.